So today's video is going to feature this Dodge Magnum, and if you're watching it, you're probably doing the same thing we're doing here because it's in the title. We are pretty well getting ready to change our camber bushings because if you notice, a wheel is actually leaning to the inside and it's wearing the tires down on the back side. So these tires was in great shape. 1,000 miles pretty well later, they almost shit. So we're going to fix that today with a $70 kit. That's what we give for it. You might can find it cheaper, you might can find it higher, I don't know. Leave the comments down below if you can, so you can help other people out if you did, but 70 bucks is what this kit costed. First thing you want to do is safely jack your wheel up off the ground. Now if you don't have a jack, then you ain't going to be doing this. If you got a wheel lift, a whole lot easier, but common sense will tell you, you got to break the lug nuts loose first. If you don't have an impact, we got an impact, we ain't worried about that. So we're jacking the car up, going to take an impact to it, take this wheel off, and go to the next step. Lug nut size is 21. It may differ on your lug nuts, but ours is 21 besides the fucked up lug nut that we did not do. So take your impact and go ahead and loosen your lug nuts. So always be safe. Put jack stands and everything under this before you attempt anything like this. But here's the tire, and if you can see, it's wore down uneven on the edge, and we got some wire coming through. Whoops. But let's go over here. So this has some movement in it, and this is your camber bushings right here. This throws it in and out. If you look, you can tell our bushings is pretty well shot. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. Some more helpful information. If you do find this video helpful, be sure to drop a like. Think about subscribing. I appreciate it if you do. And leave a comment. But this is the part number, in case you're looking for this kit. And it does come with camber bushing instructions. We're just going to eyeball this, which is kind of easy to do. I don't recommend it, but that's what we're going to do. Determine the amount of change needed. Check for loose M1 parts. Yep. Straightforward and simple. So first thing we're going to do is take that loose. So what we're going to do is change these camber bushings right here. We're just going to loosen this. These is both 18 millimeter impact socket and a wrench, and we're just going to pick this up and then press this out. Now what you want to do is take your bushing and set it up just like so, put it on the bolt and line it up exactly the same. And if your camber was good to begin with, you can just mark this here with some fingernail polish and this right here all the way across, and just drive it back in the same spot, and won't get none of your camber debris and stuff out. So I'll show you how to do that with some fingernail polish. Some fingernail polish, you can get it from your old lady or whatever. But if you got fingernail polish, I don't judge. I'm going to line this up just like so, make sure it's even, and then we're going to take fingernail polish paint here all the way across. Go ahead, Amos. You can do this one too if you wanted to. Make sure the line's even. There we go. Pretty good. And if you look down it, pretty straightforward. If you find your bolt spinning in the bushing, even though you've got this out and it's hard to get out, spray some PB Blaster on it. Let it soak. It's rusted and seized inside that bushing for you. So you got to break it free and get your bolt out. So we're going to let this set now. Anti-seize this when you put this back together, so that don't happen. But now you want to press this out. The easiest way to do this, I'm not going to lie, is a ball joint press. We do not have a ball joint press on hand, so we're going to get creative, but hopefully you do. So what we got planned, guys, is taking a bigger socket, setting it on the outside of this. What size socket is that?
1.11/16.
Okay, and then we're going to take this socket that fits this perfect right here, which is 1.25 inches, and we're going to take a C-clamp. Ta-da! Control heat right here will help us out a ton. We're going to try it first without heat, because you know, you got your shocks here and you don't want to get everything too hot. You know, it's dangerous. You got brake lines here, so try it without heat first, unless you act cocky son of a person, and you can try it with heat. But I always do professional work and be safe. If you need added leverage, I don't recommend this, but you can use a wrench and cheat. Now, if you come this far and the C-clamp don't work, you might have to cut it out. And to do that, you need to get the rubber out of it. So we just took a little propane torch and just heated it up enough, and then we're letting it melt out. Now, you want to be safe, and this is not too safe, but so you got to be careful about all your lines and everything, and not let the fire get out of hand. Now, it's not the most professional way to do this, and I recommend getting a special tool, but now we're down to the part that we have to cut this out, because the C-clamp is not bringing it, and we do not have a ball joint press to get this out with. Once you get that, you can be careful and just pretty well knock it out, and knock all the rubber out, because it's melted now and it'll come right out. And then you can take a body saw or a chisel and cut this on the inside here and knock this out, because that's about the only way we're going to get this and out. So you want to take your time and be sure not to cut all the way through. You just want it cut enough, a little at a time, so when you hit it with a chisel, that it'll snap on in two. So it might take you a while. You probably have to cut it in two places, one on top and one on the side. But, you know, just take your time and it'll come right out. Try not to damage this part, though. Now, we got them cut and took our time, and we're going to take a chisel and a hammer and knock this on out with. Like I said, you got to take your time on this. Now, we're just hitting it on the outside edge. You can see we got a gap. We are just keeping, pretty much clamping the bushing till it kind of snaps on in two. And it comes out so easy. Now, you want to take a Dremel or just some sandpaper and clean this up in here. Clean up inside this where this bushing goes. Yeah, new bushing's going to press in too. So you want to make sure your camber is right. And I personally think these bushings has been replaced before. And that's a mark we made with the fingernail polish. And it's on this one somewhere. Here it is. It went like this, and I think that camber is just off on this, so we might have to adjust this camber the best way we can and see what sets. So we are not going to set this all the way in here. We are going to line the wheel up and see what we got. This one you can do it the same way. Just take your bolt out of it and then mark where your bushing's setting with your other bushing, the same way we did this one. And the bushing's in great shape though, so we are not going to mess with this bushing. That bushing actually makes the tire go in and out this way. This upper one was a problem, and it controls the tires up and out. So we're just going to change this one today and not worry about that one. Not be the proper way most do this, but you can check your camber by just putting this up here on your wheel bearing. This is magnetized, and we put it level up and down. Actually, it could come out just a smidgen more, but that's a lot better than what we had. If I showed you what we had to begin with, it was pretty damn bad. So we're going to go ahead and first try this in the position it was in and see what a camber would be. So let's just stick this up here and check. So after a close inspection, what I thought was actual right, they actually had the camber off on this car, and that's how come both sides is wearing out bushings. They've been replaced before, and they didn't set the camber the way it needed to be. What we did is stick a bolt through it. We actually fed this in, you know, what fit kind of snug. We just got it here to show you. And then we checked the level, and it was still level, the camber was. So we're gonna go ahead and stick it together now, guys. So we're getting ready to apply anti-seize to a bolt and where bushing sets. So it'll be easier if we ever have to do this again. And you pretty much want to move this over to, you know, you split the difference. We still got a little bit to go. You can see where we actually having trouble with it. You can take some sandpaper and just clean it up, make it a whole lot easier on yourself. But we ain't damaged nothing yet, but it still is a pain to get to go in there. So once we get this moved over, different split, we're going to go ahead and bolt it back up. Use your two 18mm and tighten this back up. There is a torque spec on this. I do not know it, but you can look it up online. We are just going to use the impact and an 18mm to pretty well tighten this down, and it should be good. But always check your torque specs, you know. Now, once we got everything situated, we're gonna go ahead and bolt the tire on it and see what it looks like. So this is the Magnum. We just got done with everything. This is the other side, and whoever we placed these, can you guys tell the way this is setting? It's out. It's actually hard to tell on video, but it's pretty bad off. And I'm thinking somebody replaced these and just didn't set them or tried to set them. So at the end of the day, we got everything fixed. It should do good. Now there's other procedures on the way to do this. This is how we did us. And the wheel is still setting level. You can get these off by 1 degree and they should be fine. But all in all, the Magnum is starting to come together pretty good. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and show your support by smashing that subscribe button. I appreciate it if you do, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.